Hey, welcome to the Alt-Centrist. You're probably wondering, what is Alt-Centrism? Well, it's not a political party or a political affiliation. Alt-Centrism is more of a philosophy, although it is designed to sound like a political affiliation, and we'll talk about that later. In a nutshell, Alt-Centrism provides an alternative spectrum to the typical left-right political spectrum that we're all used to, and subsequently it comes with a whole new set of ideas. Okay, maybe not new ideas, but different. Alt-centrists look at life through the lens of an inward-outward spectrum instead of a left-right spectrum. As you dig deeper into alt-centrism, you'll find that the inward-outward spectrum applies not only to politics, but all other aspects of your life. And this is where the alternative part of the alt-centrist comes into play. Alternative means it's an alternative spectrum, and we find ourselves as predominantly centrists on this inward-outward spectrum. Now, at the center of this spectrum is you, the individual. And as you move further and further outside of the center, kind of like a bullseye, the further outer rings are things, places, people, societal factors that are both physically and logically farther away from you. They have less impact, less effect on your life. Not only that, but you have a much harder time effecting any real change upon those things. And so, the principle of alt-centrism, in a nutshell, is utilizing your valuable and scarce resources of time, energy, and emotion in the most efficient way possible towards the goal of improving your own life by focusing on things towards the center of the spectrum rather than the outside. So take, for example, people who are heavily invested in the left-right political spectrum. They spend a lot of their time worrying about elections, presidents, federal laws, things like this, that really, at the end of the day, aren't going to change their lives very much. Meanwhile, they have a lot of things going on directly around them in their immediate vicinity, again, both physically and logically, that they are completely ignoring. Things that could impact their lives for better or for worse in much greater capacities, and they're being completely ignored. So, alt-centrism really is a refocus of our energy, of our time, and our resources on things that, again, more directly affect you and your day-to-day life, rather than on things that are far away. Now, there are a lot of other ideas within alt-centrism that we'll cover on this channel as we look at cultural and political current events through the lens of the alt-centrist perspective. But the ultimate goal is this: we want to help you, empower you, the individual, to change the outcome of your life for the better. It's time we all acknowledge that politics and the political system that we have right now in the West is not functional for achieving this goal any longer. And just like any other industry, when new technology is created, new ideas are thrown out into the marketplace, old ideas get tossed out. This political system we've been operating off of in the old world has been used for decades and decades without any real significant changes. And I think up until this point, the focus has been on creating new political parties within this old paradigm, rather than changing the paradigm itself. And that is exactly what alt-centrism intends on doing. So, if you're looking for an alternative to the typical left-right political spectrum, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any alt-centrist philosophy.